Welcome back to the channel, NCtheMessenger. I'm NC, and today we are reacting to a video by Candace Owens. This came highly recommended by a close friend of mine with the caption he put, "Bring this back into the light." Now, I don't have that kind of power to bring it like Candace did the first time. And I think a lot of people still watch this, but it does tend, with all the information out there, we tend to lose and remember these great stories and what they're actually revealing. So I'm going to replay it again, and I'm going to get my reaction out of it, and I hope to get your reaction out of it and what you think about it. And hopefully we could keep this out in public eye so people don't forget that there's real victims out there, and there has to be justice. And the more we talk about it, the more we bring it out, hopefully they'll get it in our lifetime. And on that note, we'll jump right in. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, react to these videos with me, and not just for my reaction, but for yours too. I'm always interested in what you have to say about these videos, man. I get a lot of good insight by the people that comment and that message me individually and let me know more about the situations, be it music, be it politics, and I'm always here to learn. You know what they say, the best teachers are students. I'm always a student. So let's jump into this with the great Candace Owens.
Is it your view, and it's fine if you don't have a view on this, that Jean-Michel Trogneau fathered children before he transitioned to Brigitte?
Alors, sur la question de la vie de Jean-Michel.
So on the question of Jean-Michel Trogneau's life, for the moment, it's a dotted one. We know that Brigitte Macron was born Jean-Michel Trogneau on February 11th, 1945, and that she lived under this identity at least until 1963. Then there are two children who were declared by Jean-Michel Trogneau, one named Jean-Jacques Trogneau and the other Valérie. This raises questions of, would this potentially be Brigitte Macron's son? Well, this Jean-Jacques Trogneau looks like a spitting image of Emmanuel Macron. What's all that about?
Do you then have any?
I'm gonna pause it right there. The twists and turns in Candace's series on Macron were crazy. And they take you down this sick rabbit hole of elites and secrecy. And it leads to, as you just seen right here, incest maybe. And a lot of people with great power being involved. So, you know, I'm glad that the series didn't just touch on the issue of transgender issue, you know, because that's an issue in itself, but it's really only skin deep. When Candace takes you on these turns, she took you down with this French journalist as well, and so many great journalists that touched on it, this rabbit hole. I don't want to actually put rabbits in the same hole as these people, because this hole goes to a deep, dark place, and we all know the place with fire. And trust me when I say this series is worth watching, and these people need to be brought to light and justice.
Any opinion or view or lead on who was the mother then of Jean-Jacques and Valérie?
Yes, it's a woman.
I know that much.
C'est une femme qui s'appelle Véronique Dreux.
It's a woman named Véronique Dreux. She's a retired woman who was remarried to an important aristocrat from Amiens and undoubtedly raised the children of Jean-Michel Trogneau. I had a strange phone call with Véronique because while we were speaking, I realized in the background there were a bunch of people around listening to our conversation, and I asked to have some pictures and when I could obtain these, but Véronique said she would have to ask Brigitte first. I found that quite odd for a response to my question. I believe that once Emmanuel Macron is no longer in power, Pandora's box will be opened. People will start to speak, and this family's secret, which is so closely guarded, will start to unveil itself.
I'm gonna pause that again. That's crazy. You know, there's a lot of people involved with this, you know, with the age of information, everybody having a phone and knowing somebody that knows somebody. I'm hoping that, you know, somebody's brave enough or finds out firsthand of what's going on and they can just bring that to light. But what he said at the end there was that, you know, Macron coming to an end of his presidency, maybe, and then people will be brave enough to speak. I hope that's not the case. I hope that nobody stops speaking about it now, because the problem is there's really no end to these people power. They were actually put in power while they were in power. The people that are with them, their family, their bloodlines, they have power and influence. Just because they're out of the spotlight doesn't take away their power. So I don't believe, and it seems like history has shown us that the further we get away from it, and that it becomes an old buried story and folklore. But we need to really continue to bring the light to these situations and not allow them to escape the spotlight that they put on themselves, and actually use their world stage, what they used to use to peddle their influence. But now that people are gaining back the power, I'm hoping that they use that same light to shine a light on their sick lives, instead of letting them off the hook and being able to crawl into that hellish hole that they came from, only to do it better next time. So I'm hoping it doesn't wait for anybody to be out of power.
I also believe the fall from grace for Macron will be quite severe. There's also an interesting shift in the media where news outlets such as the equivalent of the New York Times in France, who in the past have not paid any sort of noticeable attention to the fact that Brigitte is a man, have now started placing her name in quotation marks, hinting at the fact that things might not be as they seem. Even Le Monde, who for the past 12 years propped up Brigitte Macron, has now admitted that Emmanuel Macron was 14 when he met Brigitte. It used to be a conspiracy theory, but now as Emmanuel Macron nears his term's end, the secrets are coming out one by one and being acknowledged more.
Is it your view?
Okay, well, that was the video. I told you it was a short video. It's only a couple minutes long. You know, if you want to see that full interview, it's out there, and I suggest you watch it. This French journalist and Candace Owens and a bunch of others really do their due diligence and take you down this path where you can start to see things a little more clear, and the sicknesses that are out there in these elite circles. So, you know, my thoughts on it are sad that so many years and so many generations have been lost of their purity and their innocence by these predatory elites and these sick people. And they don't have to have money sometimes. They just have to have power. And I know that what's the difference? There's a lot of difference. You know, you have poor communities with abusive fathers with no money in the household that tend to do the same sick things to their kids that these people do. But they usually are the ones that are caught, that are put in prison, or justice speeds fast. Now these elite ones are able to move in covert missions to go get these kids and to do these things, and or even to raise and groom these children in a lot of ways that is suggested happened here to Macron. So my thoughts on it go in every direction. When it comes to kids, it just gives me goosebumps to know that these people are still in power and influence, and some of them run a country. Some of them have more power than that. And I just hope that the power that we have as the people with this information, with our platforms, we can start bringing light to these. They wanted the spotlight. Let's give them the spotlight. But let's no longer look at them on the red carpet, but start to look at them for who they are and what they've done and what paths they've walked to get where they're at. And I think the more light that is shed on their past and who they come from and who they deal with, the more these people will start to be exposed for who and what they actually are. I think we're in those times. It's a new time. And I hope that people see their power again and realize that we do have a lot more power than they give us credit for. And we've seen it in America this election. We've seen it. We're seeing it in real time, and with people like Candace Owens, Matt Walsh, Joe Rogan, and a lot of other people that have used their platforms to shape the way people are looking at things, not just in this kind of box. What we're told is what we believe. Kind of look at things in a different way. Wait. That's what they said. That's what they showed us. But was that what it was? And I think those questions are being asked now, and it's scaring the the death out of these people. And I'm hoping that I get to see the goodness of God in the land of the living while I'm still here. And I think people like Candace and a lot of the people on this internet that refuse to let these stories go and die with those poor children will bring more light to this, and that we will be able to see redemption for past generations that have been victim to these predators. And on that note, remember that they only have the power God lent them. So they can do all this stuff, but they can't rise against the gates. They can't do it. They can't beat us. We're not scared of death anymore because we know who conquered death. So that being said, please like and subscribe to my channel. Catch my reactions. Allow me to react to your comments, and let's learn this new world together. I'm NCtheMessenger. The message is always love. Don't give it up. Give it away. And remember, don't shoot the messenger.